Good afternoon all. Back with our classes on cell. So we did till now prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. We said prokaryotes are cells without a definite nuclear membrane around the nucleus, whereas eukaryotes are cells which have a definite nuclear membrane around the nucleus. We said that prokaryotic cells are primitive cells, eukaryotic cells are modern cells, prokaryotic cells are cells without cell organelles where all one single cell does all the functions, whereas eukaryotic cells have different cell organelles which perform different metabolic functions. Okay. Example of prokaryotic cell, you have to draw and show me the figure. So you will post these figures in the group. Figure 5.4 is the example of prokaryotic cell. You will draw, this is the cell of a prokaryotic cell which has a plasma membrane, ribosomes, cell wall, and the nucleus is in the form of a nucleoid. Now we will talk about cytoplasm. So tomorrow's homework, figure 5.4 should be drawn and shown to me. Okay. When we look at the temporary mount of the onion peel as well as the cheek cells, we can see a large region of each cell enclosed by a cell membrane. This region takes up a very little stain. I said, again we will draw our structure. This was what? Our plasma membrane. Outside the plasma membrane we have what called? Cell wall. This is our cell wall. Then we said, after the cell wall, we have what at the center? A nucleus. This nucleus takes a very dark stain, isn't it? And then we said the nucleus is surrounded by a double-layered nuclear membrane. This nuclear membrane has got pores in between, which are called what? Nuclear pores. This nuclear pores allow the movement of substances in and out of the cytoplasm to the nuclear region. Okay? Then we also studied that this cell wall provides turgidity, strength to the plant. It is made up of cellulose and it is also made up of certain amount of lipids and protein. We cannot eat this cellulose because we lack an enzyme called cellulase. Now, what is cytoplasm is? The region around the nucleus or the empty region other than nucleus is called as what? Cytoplasm. What did we see in cell membrane or cell wall? In cell wall we said that whenever the cell loses water by osmosis, there is always shrinking of the cell away from the cell wall. This is called as what? Plasmolysis. We studied an example of Rio leaves and said that plasmolysis only occurs in what cells? Living cells. Okay. So this is what we said, that this area takes up very little stain. If it is an animal cell, we will use the stain as methylene blue. If it is a plant cell, we will use what? Safranin. The cytoplasm is the fluid content inside the plasma membrane. It also contains many specialized cell organelles. Each of these cell organelles performs specific function for the cell. So now, if it is a plant cell, it will have a big large vacuole in it. So this becomes what? A big large vacuole which basically helps to store waste material or storage. Okay, then it has got what? A mitochondria. This mitochondria is called as the powerhouse of the cell and it helps us to generate energy by various metabolic activity. It has got lot of cell tissues like this which are called as what apparatus? Golgi apparatus. It also has something like this. You have smooth and rough endoplasmic reticulum. If I put dot dot, it becomes what? Rough endoplasmic reticulum. If I don't draw those ribosomes, it becomes what? Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So inside the cytoplasm, there are many cell organelles present which perform what? Various metabolic activities. Now, in cell organelles are enclosed by a membrane. In prokaryotes, besides the absence of a defined nuclear region, the membrane-bound cell organelles are absent. In the eukaryotic cell, they have a nuclear membrane as well as membrane-bound cell organelles. The significance of membrane can be illustrated with the example of viruses. Viruses lack any membranes and hence do not show any characteristic of life until they enter a living body and use its cell machinery to multiply. Now, this you should very important for us to know this now because of COVID-19 or coronavirus. Virus is always said to be a link between living and dead. Until and unless virus finds a body where it can multiply, it will not live. That is why it is said that if this book has some virus, if I don't touch it and it does not reach my hand, virus will automatically die after a few hours. But the moment it comes into the living body, it will immediately reach some part of my body and starts to multiply. So if virus is in the air and it does not get any living body, it automatically will die. But if it gets even one living body, it will multiply, and then when you sneeze, when you cough, when you salivate, or when you throw your body fluid anywhere due to taking out your mucus from the nose or spitting out after eating pan, or there are a lot of people who have the habit of spitting when you walk on the road and they do and they'll spit. So all that if you do, then automatically what will happen? And if I happen to stamp on it, if I happen to breathe the air where they have spat, so immediately that virus will enter my body. And that is why it is said, the moment you make your hands wash by soap, it is an alkaline medium and the soap lather will take away the virus. That is why it is very advisable for all of you to clean your hands multiple times with soap. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮುಂಚೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಚಿಪ್ಸ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಒರೆಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ತಿನ್ಬಿಡ್ತಿದ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ತಿನ್ನೋಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ, because there are chances that you may fall sick. So very important question. Viruses are said to be a link between non-living and living, or viruses are a link between the dead and the living. Explain. So how do we say viruses are a link between the dead and living? Virus themselves are not living, but only when they get a living body, they multiply. Why are they not living? Because they do not have any cell membrane. They are just one RNA strand. So they do not have any cell membrane. So as a result of it, they cannot multiply. But the moment they come into me or they come into any living organism, they use our machinery and then multiply. Artha aita? So please underline the answer for it. Viruses lack any membrane and hence they do not show any characteristic of life until they enter a living body and use its cell machinery to multiply. So viruses are a link between the dead and the living. It is dead in the air, and that is why if you would have heard a statement made by WHO officials, they say, if you do not move, the virus will also not move, because virus in the air may be present, but if none of us go out of the house, that virus will automatically die. But more and more people sitting in a very enclosed place, automatically there will be spread of virus. Even if you say, excuse me, even if the teacher says, God bless you, but if you would have sneezed in open windows as you used to sneeze before, you will find you would have infected about 35 people who are sitting in a class. And that is why schools are not opening, because we are really worried about all of your health. And we cannot say that you will not eat your food and stand like this on a friend's shoulder. All of us do that, isn't it? When we are meeting all our friends after multiple times, you will go and hit him, pat him, hug him, okay? Or some hugging, patting, kicking, all that is very common. And then, going and eating food during the lunch box. I remember in Chuku's class, I don't want to name the kid, but he would go all around the class picking up his empty dabba ka tiffin to muchla mele. He would go and pick up from everywhere and eat. That's actually one of the best things to do, because you can taste everybody's food. He went even up to the teacher and also ate. Teacher also gave him some food and when we eat. So that is how we are all used to eating. Even if we tell you, even if your parents tell you not to give or not to eat, you may not eat, but ultimately you will give. After 2-3 days, what will you do? Even you will start eating. Hey, so virus is very dangerous. It actually acts as a dead. You will never find it, but the moment it gets into your body, within 2 to 3 days, it will multiply, and you will start seeing the results of that particular virus. So it is said to be a link between the dead and the living, because it is dead in the air, as it does not have any membrane and machinery of its own. But the moment it reaches a living organism, it multiplies and uses the machinery of the living organisms for life. Okay? Now, fill in the gaps in the following table, illustrating differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Size, generally 1 to 10 micrometer. Size, generally large. Nuclear region, prokaryotic cell, please worry, not well defined. Not well defined and is known as nucleoid. And is known as nucleoid. N-U-C-L-E-O-I-D, nucleoid. Spelling once check marro. E-O-I-D, nucleoid. Nuclear region well defined and surrounded by a nuclear membrane. Chromosome single, more than one chromosome. Membrane bound cell organelles absent. Akkada em baritira? Membrane bound cell organelles present. Very important 2-mark question. This is difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So clear, we studied generally cell as 3 headings. We said the first part was cell, plasma membrane. We studied plasma membrane. We studied cell wall. We studied nucleus surrounded by a nuclear membrane in eukaryotic cell, not surrounded by a nuclear membrane, and is known as nucleoids in a prokaryotic cell. And now we have to study everything which is present in the cytoplasm, which are what? All our cell organelles. Every cell has a membrane around it to keep its own content separate from the external environment. Large and complex cells, including cells from multicellular organisms, need a lot of chemical activities to support their complicated structure and function. To keep these activities of different kinds separate from each other, these cells use membrane-bound little structures within themselves. This is known as the feature of the eukaryotic cell that distinguishes them from the prokaryotic cell. In a prokaryotic cell, there is no membrane-bound cell organelle. Everything is present within the cytoplasm. Whereas, you will find in a eukaryotic cell, every cell organelle has its own cell membrane. We have talked about the nucleus in the previous section. Some important examples of cell organelles which we will discuss are endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes, mitochondria, plastids and vacuoles. They are important because they carry out some very crucial functions in the cell. So difference here, in a prokaryotic cell there is no membrane bound cell organelles, but in a eukaryotic cell there is a lot of membrane bound cell organelles present. So today we will study about what? Endoplasmic reticulum. The notes are given to you, point wise description is there. Please mix and match with your notes and read endoplasmic reticulum. Or if your school teacher has given you some notes, refer your textbook and the school teacher's notes and read. Otherwise, refer my notes and read. Okay. So now let us talk about endoplasmic reticulum. It is also called as what? ER. ER, you know, endoplasmic reticulum. They are of 2 types. What are the 2 types of endoplasmic reticulum? Smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum have what attached to it? Ribosomes attached to it. These ribosomes are always responsible for what synthesis? Protein synthesis. They help in formation of protein. protein synthesis. So let us read. It is a large network of membrane-bound tubes and sheets. It looks like long tubules or round or oblong bags or vesicle. It is similar to the structure of the plasma membrane. So what it says, the first few points, it means something like this. These are called bags, round or oblong bags, and these are known as what? Vesicles. So there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum looks rough under a microscope because it has particles of ribosomes attached to its surface. The ribosomes, which are present in all active cells, are the sites of protein manufacture. Their manufactured proteins are then sent to various places in the cell depending on the need using the endoplasmic reticulum. So, rough endoplasmic reticulum will have what attached to it? It will have ribosomes attached to it. This ribosome helps in what? Protein synthesis. After the protein is made, this endoplasmic reticulum transports the protein to different parts of the cell as and how it is required. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps in the manufacture of fat molecule or lipids. Very, very important. See. So, first function of RER or rough endoplasmic reticulum is what? Protein synthesis. Second function, transport of protein. Okay, now let us talk about SER, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It helps in the synthesis of lipid molecule or fat molecule. It helps in the synthesis of what? Fat or lipid molecule. Some of this, see, some of the protein and lipid molecule help in the formation of what membrane? Cell membrane. And this process is called as membrane biogenesis. 2 marks question in your board. Very, very important. What is membrane biogenesis? Gotaita, please write there. What is membrane biogenesis? Please underline. Some of these proteins and lipid helps in building the cell membrane, and this protein or this process is known as what? Membrane biogenesis. Clear? You have to learn it now only. What are endoplasmic reticulum? They are oblong or circular or spherical vesicles, tube-like structures or vesicles. They are of two types, smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum has ribosomes attached to it. It helps in protein synthesis. Also, it helps in transport of protein to different parts of the body. Next, rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps in the synthesis of fat or lipid molecules. Proteins and lipid molecule together help in formation of what membrane? Cell membrane. And this process is called as what biogenesis? Membrane biogenesis. Some of the proteins and lipids function as enzymes and hormones. Although the endoplasmic reticulum varies greatly in appearance in different cells, it always forms a network system. One function of the endoplasmic reticulum is to serve as channels for transport of material between various regions of cytoplasm and between the cytoplasm and the nucleus. The protein which I wrote here, it moves from, well, if this is the nucleus I draw and this is my nuclear core, this is my cell membrane and this is how I am drawing it. This is my cell wall. So what it does, endoplasmic reticulum, which is present somewhere like this here, cell. Very important. The next line, in the liver cells of a group of animals called vertebrates. Vertebrates under now who can stand like this, who have got what? A backbone or a vertebral column, who can all stand erect. This includes fishes, amphibians, reptiles, and birds and mammals. So in most vertebrates, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum plays a crucial role in detoxifying many poisons and drugs. If you have an allergic reaction to some drug, particularly if you have had a surgery or something and you have an allergic reaction to some particular drug, that time the smooth endoplasmic reticulum comes out as a doctor to our entire body and it tries to detoxify the poison which is being given to us by mistake or due to which we have developed an allergy. So functions of smooth endoplasmic reticulum: helps to synthesize fat or lipid molecule. It helps along with protein to form cell membrane. This cell membrane formation is called as what? Membrane biogenesis. In case of human beings or in case of vertebrates, in the liver cells, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps to detoxify poisons and drugs. So is endoplasmic reticulum clear? Once again I'll tell. It is in the form of oblong or spherical vesicles present in the cell organelle. It is of two types, smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum helps in the synthesis of fat or lipid molecule. Along with protein and lipid molecule, it helps in the formation of cell membrane, and this process is called as membrane biogenesis. In case of vertebrates, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum in liver cells helps to detoxify poison and drugs. The second comes what? Rough endoplasmic reticulum. It is rough because it has presence of ribosomes in it. It always helps in what synthesis? Protein synthesis, and it forms a network to transport protein between the cytoplasm and so this is all about what? Endoplasmic reticulum. Tomorrow we will study something about Golgi apparatus. Thank you.